Nippon Hoso Podcast Station.
Today's phrase is あんたの推しの子になってやる
Sorry if you guys didn't know. That's what happens. Spoiler alert.
はい、Spoiler alert っていうのはちなみにネタバレ注意って意味です。Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. I'm your host Sally Amaki. よろしくお願いします。We have a message. 嬉しい。I didn't think you would get any, so I'm happy. Thank you. Our very first message of this podcast. Let's go. ラジオネーム浮船さんからいただきました。Thank you 浮船。はじめまして。Anime English Club 本当に楽しく聞かせていただきました。天木サリーちゃんが可愛すぎます。店長。そして私もオタクなので共感する部分がとても多かったです。私も英語を勉強しているのですが、なかなかモチベーションが保てない日もあったりするのですが、この動画は聞いていて純粋に楽しくてあっという間でした。英語の知識はもちろん、大好きなアニメで英語の話が聞けるのがとても嬉しいです。嬉しいです。Honestly, the point of this whole entire podcast is so that you guys can, get used to English in a very casual way. It's not a very educational podcast, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. でもモチベーション確かに保ちづらいですよね。私がおすすめするのは、ボキャブラリーを毎日2個覚えることです。If you memorize 2 vocabs every day, that's like 700 per year, and that's so much. It may seem small daily, but if you look at the bigger picture, it's a lot. So start by two words every day. はい、浮船さん、ありがとうございます。では、we're gonna go into today's topic.This episode kicks off our 3-part series on Oshi No Ko! Yay! Hi! So for those of you that don't know what Oshi No Ko is, Oshi No Ko was created by Aka Akasaka and illustrated by Mango Yokoyari. The manga began in Weekly Young Jump in April 2020, with its anime adaptation premiering in April 2023. Has it already been 2 years? Oh my gosh.The story follows Dr. Goro Amemiya, who's reincarnated as Aqua, one of the twin babies born to his favorite idol, Ai Hoshino, after he was murdered by an obsessed fan. After a tragedy befalls their mother, Aqua and his twin sister Ruby, who also has memories from a past life, enter the entertainment industry with different motivations.The series explores the dark side of the entertainment industry, the celebrity worship, and fan culture, while balancing serious themes with comedy and character development. Okay, so I first watched Oshi No Ko without reading the manga. So, oh my gosh, the first episode surprised me. First of all, the first episode was like 90 minutes. It was like a full-blown movie. I didn't think I was gonna die.I thought it was gonna be one of those, oh my gosh, I'm reincarnated as my favorite idol's child. This is gonna be so fun. I thought it was gonna be a comedy. I didn't think she was gonna die. And that brutally, oh my gosh, I cried. It came out of nowhere, so I cried so much. But yeah, I'm sorry if you guys didn't know. That's what happens. Spoiler alert. はい、Spoiler alert っていうのはちなみにネタバレ注意って意味です。Spoiler alert ですね。はい。So let's look at the phrase from Oshi No Ko. Today's phrase is あんたの推しの子になってやる。はい。こちら、if you say this in English, it means I'm gonna be your fave, you're a star. That's how it was translated in the anime subtitle.So this line is from Kana Arima during her idol performance. She spots Aqua in the audience and declares her determination to become his oshi or his favorite idol member. It's not just about romance, it's about proving her worth as a performer. Arima Kana, best girl! I love her so much. This scene is so great to me. I think it's from the final episode of the first season. It's on the debut stage of Bikomachi. So Arima Kana is there, Ruby, and Mimucho is there. And of course, Mimucho is already super popular, so there's so many people with her penlight member color, and some people already have Ruby's penlight color as well, even though she just debuted that day. But nobody had the white light stick on for Arima Kana, and she was like, wow, like nobody wants me here, this is terrible, and she's feeling really bad. And Aqua is like the only one in the crowd with her white light stick. If I was Arima Kana, honestly, after that performance and after I see Aqua in the crowd with my light stick, I would probably ask him, like, what are we? You know? I would fall in love. So that was great. And honestly, I can't accept the fact that nobody had Arima Kana's penlight color on her during her very first performance. After her Piman Taiso release, like, are you serious? Nobody became a fan of her after that? That is crazy. Also, penlight culture is so big in the idol industry. I have my very own penlight. This is actually from Twice. Yay. I really love Twice. They're a K-pop group. But I feel like idol culture is very different in Japan than in any other place in the whole entire world. As you can see, like, for instance, for Twice, there's literally only one color. There's only one colorなんですよ. In Japan, every member has a specific member color. So for instance, for me, I'm in an idol group called 7/22. My member color is yellow. So if I do a live, I would give fan service to people that are holding up a yellow light stick. And so honestly, one light stick can really break or make a performance for an idol. Speaking from an idol's perspective, especially, like, I relate so much to Arima Kana. Whenever I'm, like, doing a live performance and I don't really see that many yellow pen lights, I feel so scared because I feel like everybody else doesn't like me. So, yeah, whenever I don't know, it's mentally draining for an idol to have a pen light color. But in a sense, it's a good way to connect with your fans because you know who loves you on a very deep level. So yeah, I like it and don't like the idol member color culture in the Japanese J-pop industry. It freaks me out. So we should do it like twice and just have one color. Hi. I talked so much about this scene. I'm so sorry. We need to go into the vocab. Let's dive deep into the vocab. Hi. So right here, so this phrase, あんたの推しの子になってやる, Oshi was translated into fave. So in English, there's so many different ways to say Oshi. In this anime, there's so many situations where the word Oshi comes out. But if you look at the English subtitles, it's translated into so many different ways. So I'm going to teach you guys just some of the ways that it was translated into. So for instance, number 1, fave or favorite. So favorite also means oshi. So it's probably the most basic use of oshi. So when you're like, hey, who's your oshimen, your oshi member? It would mean like, who's your favorite member? So you can say favorite in English. I like saying fave, F-A-V, fave. Hi, there's that. It was actually said by Aqua in the series as well, when he said, my favorite always was and always will be I. But in the Japanese version, he said, my oshi wa ai. So yeah, it can be translated into favorite. And then another way you can say it is stan. So this, I feel like it's used more online than in person. Maybe it's because I'm from like Stan Twitter. はい。なんか推し活用のツイッターのことを英語で Stan Twitter って言うんですけど、the word, I didn't know this, but it apparently originated from Eminem's song about an obsessed fan. So it's a word stalker and fan put together, and it's called stan. I didn't know that. I did not know that. But yeah, it could be used as a verb and noun. So you can say, hey, who do you stan? Or I stan so and so. So 動詞にも形容詞にもできますね。私は誰々を推していますと、誰々が推しですと同じ感じで、I stan Sally Amaki, or my stan is Sally Amaki. Yeah, that is the only time you can use it. You can only use it when you say my name after it. はい。This was also used in the series from episode 1. It was in the hospital scene when these fans were looking at a news about one of the idols who got pregnant with a comedian. And they were like, can you really stand an idol who's got a husband and kids? Which I think is crazy. I would stand an idol with husband and kids. Like, you go, girl. Hi. So in this case, stan was used. Hi. Another way you can say oshi is support. Hi. Support would mean to back someone up, or who you're cheering for, or who you're rooting for. Hi. It's more of like a continuous emotional, it's more like continuous, like it's a verb. 動詞です。はい。So, in this in this anime, Oshi No Ko, it was used in episode 11 from one of the audiences of B Komachi. And they were looking at the performance, and they were like, I think I can support her. You know, like, I think I can root for her. For this instance, though, stan would work as well. Fave wouldn't work. I think I can fave her. That doesn't work. But stan or support, anything that is a verb would work here. はい。動詞しかダメですね、ここは。そして、最後に、last one. Number one. Number one, apparently, means your top favorite. So who's your number one right now, or your number one fave? So I wouldn't use it as is. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, she's my number one. Yeah, I always have to have, like, she's my number one fave, or, she's my number one fave would probably be the only time I would use it. This Ruby actually uses she's my number one fave right now in episode 4 when she talks about shiranui. So, yeah, those are the 4 ways. You can say oshi. Honestly, there's not one specific one that's really better to use. I just feel like saying stan is a bit more into the idol culture. Like stan seems extreme, more extreme than favorite. Like favorite seems a bit more casual. So when you're, out in a business meeting or something, or just whatever, gathered around with your friends, and you're like, hey, what are you into lately? If you're like, oh, I don't know, I like this idol and my favorite is so-and-so, it's like, it seems a bit more casual. But when you're like, oh, I stan this person, it makes me feel like, oh, you're like really into it, because I feel like stan, the word stan itself is from the stan culture, like idol or anime culture, or fan culture. So, yeah. If you want to be more light about something or casual about something, I would use favorite. But if you're around your otaku friends, I guess you can use stan. Also, by the way, あんたの推しの子になってやる. This translation would have been just fine with it being I'm gonna be your fave. But in the translation, it was translated as I'm gonna be your fave. You're a star. They added you're a star into it. It would have worked just fine without it. I just feel like, this is just my opinion, but I feel like they added star just because Hoshino Ai has a star in her eye, and that's her, the whole entire thing about her. Like, the charisma she has is kind of seen through the star in her eyes, and Aqua really loves Ai because of that and her charisma. So I feel like it had a double meaning. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be the star of your show, but also I'm gonna be like quite literally your star, like I Hoshino. I feel like that's why they used it. I don't know if it's right, but that's what I think. はい。そして moving on to the pronunciation. Let's try out our phrase of the week again. じゃまず日本語であんたの推しの子になってやる。はい。あんたの推しの子になってやる。If you say it in English, it's I'm gonna be your fave, your star. I'm gonna be your fave, your star. はい。こちら、it's not a very hard word to pronounce. I shouldn't say that because I'm fluent in English. I don't know what's hard for you, but I'm gonna might be a bit hard. Gonna is short for I'm going to. はい、I'm going to をキュッと。So it's a 喋り言葉ってなんて言えばいいんでしょう It's a casual way of saying I'm going to. So if you're writing an essay for school, you're never going to write I'm gonna in an essay. You only use it when you're speaking. So how would you pronounce I'm gonna? I'm gonna. Gonna. Emphasis on the ga. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Pretend like you are a teenager who's tired of everything. 反抗期中のね、思春期の子だと思ってください、自分が。You're a teenager who's tired of everything. You're not going to pronounce everything word for word. You're not going to be like, I'm gonna. You're going to be like, I'm gonna. Like, throw it out. I'm gonna じゃなくて、I'm gonna. Act lazy and it's perfect. I'm gonna のちょっと日本語のカタカナの漢字を I'm gonna こうやりながらやったら It's easier. はい次fave or favorite is V the most difficult part for everybody. So pretend you're a cell phone on silent mode or on vibration and somebody asks you, hey, do your best impression of a cell phone that's like vibrating. You're gonna be like you literally feel it like if you don't feel the vibration in your cheeks, you're doing it wrong. Favorite. Yeah. Do it until you feel the vibration. And now you have perfect pronunciation. はい。そして最後に So we did I'm gonna and fave. 次は star. I know the AR sound is very difficult for Japanese people. They tend to say star like star. So we can't really hear the R when we hear Japanese people saying it. So star. R. Pretend you're a pirate. I don't know if it's the same for Japanese pirates, but overseas, if you look at pirate movies, they're always like, R, you know. そうなんですよ。海賊映画でよく R. If you watch SpongeBob, for instance, there's a pirate in the beginning of every SpongeBob episode, and they're always like, arg. そんな感じです。海賊のふりをしてください。Say arg. Arg. And then just add a S in front of it. Star. And then slowly bring it back to your vocal chords. Stop being a pirate. Star. Yeah. Start from a pirate and then slowly fade into being yourself. And there you have it. Now you're fluent. Now you can say I'm gonna, fave, and star. You're welcome. Hi. I know we introduced like so many different ways of saying oshi. The way you say it puts more depth to how much you support your certain oshi. So, for instance, like I said, if you say like, oh, you know, I stan Amaki, that still seems kind of casual. Like, you know, yeah, I stan Amaki. But if you're like, I stan Sally and Maki, emphasis on stan, then people would be like, oh, they're hardcore. So honestly, it's how much you put emotion and passion into what you're saying. English is more about passion than the actual words you use, is what I think.
アニメイングリッシュクラブ with サリー・アマキ。
Alright, now moving on to the culture context. So idol culture is very different all over the world, and especially the Japanese idol culture is so different. And I think you can see it even in Oshi No Ko when Ruby and Memucho and Arimakana were trying to decide who should be the center. They went to the karaoke and they were like, hey, we should sing, and whoever gets the best score in the karaoke should be the center. And then Ruby's score was terrible. And then Micho was like, what? Like, why did you think that you can be a center if you sound like that when you sing? And Ruby was like, no, you don't understand. Idol is about showing growth. Like, you don't have to be perfect from the very beginning. It's about like showing how much you improve, and that's the story that people want to support. I feel like that idol culture or that mentality is only a thing in Japan. Right? Yeah. Cause, well, for instance, I really like K-pop. But, you know, K-pop trainees, they go through really hard training for a couple years, and when they debut, they're expected to be like perfect and visual-wise as well. But in Japan, I remember when I debuted in Nanabun no Nijuni, they didn't let me put on pink eyeshadow because it was too much. No pink eyeshadow, no shimmer, and your lip gloss had to be basically the lightest tone of pink. So it was basically the no makeup look is what the idols who debut first, the Japanese idols most of the times, that's the kind of makeup they have you do. And you can't dye your hair as well. It took me, 3 years for me to get the permission to dye my hair brown. Before that, it was like all black hair. If you look at my profile picture from my debut age, which was like 2017, I look sick. Like, I literally have no color on my face. But apparently, that's the image that they want for like upcoming idols. You know, they want somebody who's pure, who isn't like, you know, who doesn't have any color yet, like basically a blank canvas. And they want to see somebody slowly like flourishing into, you know, beauty. Which I think is bullshit. I want it to be pretty from the very first single. Oh my gosh. Whatever picture they have of me from 2017, I want them to burn it from the face of this earth. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Also, the dating scandals as well. I feel like when idols date in Japan, it is treated like a crime. Like, yeah, they have pretty hardcore, you know, fans who view them as somebody, their potential lover, I guess. And so some idols would have to either take a break from their group or they would even have to graduate, which I think is crazy. And even in Oshi No Ko, when a really obsessive man stabbed Ai in the first episode, he was like, you lied to us, you know, like your I love yous meant nothing. But honestly, I don't think that's the case, because I feel like I love you holds many different meanings, you know. When you say I love you to your mom and I love you to your best friend and I love you to your partner, they're all very different I love yous, but that doesn't mean one is a bigger I love you, you know? So just because I say I love you to my partner doesn't mean the I love yous that I say to my fans is like any different or any less. So I never really understood why people were like, I felt lied to or something when they find out that their favorite idols are in relationships. I actually like it when my favorite idols are in relationships because it makes me feel like, they're happy in their private life and, they've helped me through hard times in my life. So I'm like, I hope you're living a very happy life as well because you helped me so much. And that's the kind of, mentality I have when I support my idols. But, I understand it's very different for everybody. Hi. And also, fan chants are very different in Japan, K-pop, and like artist or idol culture overseas as well. So for instance, the song Sain wa B in Oshi No Ko. Whenever I go to concerts or lives in America, I've realized that everybody basically sings the song from start to finish. There is basically no fan chants. I sometimes can't even hear the artist because of how loud people around me are singing the whole entire song. But in Japan, they would only sing a certain part. So for instance, if they say Sai wa B, they would probably only sing the B part. Like there's only certain places that they would sing. And so that's why it's kind of hard for newcomers to get into a lot of new idols because whenever they go to a certain performance, they don't know when to do the fan chants. So it's kind of hard to get into. But yeah, fan chants are very different.
I have a question.
Yes.
So the fans make those moments by themselves or the idols, they let them do those at a certain point?
Both. Both happen. Sometimes, like for instance, for my group, 7分の22, I basically made almost all the fan chants for our songs. So there's this song called Idate Musume, and one of the lyrics is Shinzou ga bakuhatsu shisou, or it means my heart is about to explode. I made the fan chants where after we sing it, they're like, dokang! Which is like a sound it makes when something explodes. So when we sing, we're like, Shinzawa ga bakuhatsu shisou, dokan! Is the fan chant I made. But something like, for instance, yettai ga, like, faiba, saiba, like there's this specific phrase that Japanese people use for basically every idol group. It's called yettai ga, but that is a phrase that's basically passed down from generation to generation. It could be used for any group, so it's not specific to a single group. So the group can make their own fan chants for their songs. If you go on YouTube, some groups actually post videos for their fans to let them know what the fan chants are. So if you look at any group, they'll be like, hey, if you're going to come to our live, we're going to sing this new song, and here's the fan chant. And they'll do the fan chant for you so that you can memorize it before you go to their live. So you have like a better experience. So yeah, it really depends on the song and the group. Yeah. And that does it for this episode of the Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. Make sure to follow us on X and other social media. Next time, we'll explore a deeper theme from Oshi No Ko, the complex relationship between fiction and reality in the entertainment world. Ooh, that's deep. That's too dark. Hi. The English Anime Club wants to hear from you. Whether it's a scene or anime you want me to talk about, general English questions, or you just want to say hi, we want to hear from you. Email us at aec@1242.com. That's aec@1242.com. You can email me in either Japanese or English. です。日本語でも英語でもどっちでもお待ちしております。And we also have a YouTube channel. You can check the subtitles both in English and Japanese. Go to youtube.com/anime-english-club, or you can just search by the title. Hi. So, thank you so much for watching the very first episode of the 3-part Oshi No Ko series. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week. Bye! From the Nippon Hoso podcast station, this is the Anime English Club, hosted by me, Sally Amaki. This episode was directed by Kensuke Yoshida and was written and produced by Shiori Tanaka of Nippon Broadcasting System, Japan.